James Elder, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. I'm at the O2 Arena in London. We've just witnessed Tony Bellew defeat David Haye. A little bit of controversy thrown in as well. I'm quite fortunate enough to be joined by Jeff Powell. How are you, Powell? All right?
You have to say Jeff Powell and Daily Mail.
With me, I'm quite fortunate enough to be joined by Mr. Jeff Powell of the Daily Mail. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? It was an entertaining evening, wasn't it?
It was quite entertaining, a little bit off the script. Tony Bellew was predicted to be on the back foot for most of this fight,
yes,
and he sort of dictated the pace a bit. Speak to me about it.
I don't think anybody predicted that David Haye would cross his leg in the fourth or fifth round and then have to battle like a hero before being pulled out in the 11th. But of all the predictions, I don't think that was one of them. So it was a pretty unusual and, as a consequence, exciting night.
As I said, we've just witnessed and saw video back of David Haye injuring his left.
Right leg.
Was it his right or his left? I thought it was his left.
No, right leg.
His right, sorry, excuse me, his right leg in the fifth round. Do you think that was the reason that Tony Bellew seemed to come on strong and take control in that round?
Yeah, because there's two things about that. Haye's movement, he was crippled, his movement was horribly restricted. But the other thing is, he kept going and taking a lot of punishment as a consequence of his lack of mobility, on the hope that he could land the big haymaker, the big right hand, still just land the one punch. So he went through agony to try and land the one punch. But of course the problem is that if you can't plant your right foot and throw the right hand, you can't get the same power for the shot. And I think if we look back, and I've not had a chance to look at it again, but you'll see that he actually he injures the leg when he sets himself firm on that right leg to throw a right hand. And clearly that pressure on that leg cracked then. And we must remember that he went to, unusually, in the middle of fight week, flew to Germany and back to Munich to see the good Dr. Moller Wolfart.
Is there more relevance attached to that now than there was beforehand?
Yes, I always said that there was, he's just gone for fun and to try and spook Bellew. Then it was, I was just having a lark. Then it was, I always go and see him because I just make sure my body's in shape. But I said all along, you do not go flying to Munich and having pizzas in Munich in the dead of night, in the middle of fight week, unless there's a good reason. And you don't get your mate to pay for the jet, his jet, unless you've got a good reason. That's not fun. So clearly there was something wrong. And that might explain the mania with which he threw himself into the first round, where he fought like a wild man, clearly hoping to get a very early knockout and get out of there before something went wrong with his body.
We'll come back to that. Was Shane McGuigan, in your opinion, right to throw the towel in when he did?
I think he had two choices. It was to pull him out as soon as the injury happened, in the hope of getting it didn't become too bad, doesn't become a long-term problem. If the Achilles tendon is gone, that could be the end of a career. But if you take him out immediately, it might not be too bad, you get him fixed. I'm sure David didn't want that, given the stick he took about the little toe with Klitschko. I'm sure he didn't want to be seen in that position again. And then, after that, he'd got to the end of the 11th round, let him have his hero, let him go out on his shield, a hero, go to the end of the 12th, which was clearly what he wanted to do. So I think he got the timing wrong on both counts.
Do you think this is the night we saw David Haye age in a boxing ring? His body has taken so many vigors over the years with the shoulder, the Achilles. It's a double-edged question. Will we see him return as well from this?
I think I don't think we saw him age in terms of being a fighter. I think we saw the breakdown of a body which has been a bit suspect for a while. He's a very explosive fighter. That explosive, and you're throwing sort of maybe 300 pounds worth of power behind the punch. It's a big leverage on all your joints and so on. So it's possibly a breakdown of a body. I didn't see him looking on. His timing was off because he only had two stupid fights in 4 years. Although he got a bit better later on, but by then he couldn't generate the power because of the leg. So no, I don't think we saw him age in terms of being a physical specimen with a fighting man. But I think we saw the continuing breakdown of the body.
Where would you like to see Tony Bellew go from here? Would you like to see him back at cruiserweight and fighting mandatory breeders, or would you now like to see him looking for some super fights in the heavyweight division?
It's been interesting to see where Bellew goes. Where he wants to go, clearly, is the rematch. because this is where the money is. He'd like to come back here and have another sold out.
Or Goodison Park, like he hinted to. Yeah, yeah.
Or Goodison Park and have the rematch. Again, it's a dangerous fight for him if David Haye's fit. Haye clearly wants the rematch because this, however you look at it, it's a defeat, brave or not, caused by injury or not, and it does nothing for him in terms of chasing Anthony Joshua. For Bellew to go and fight other big young heavyweights is a dangerous proposition for him. That's why he's so keen for this rematch.
David Haye's gone to hospital, so we're just waiting on news regarding what his situation is regarding the Achilles. Do you think we should be worried? Do you think that looks like a serious injury?
If it's the Achilles and it's snapped, it's a long-term rehab and he's 36.
Jeff Powell, thank you very much for giving me some of your time, dear sir.
Always a pleasure.
You're a top man. Thank you, mate.